All right, what's up, Horde? Here we go. We're back again. We've had so many podcasts over the last few days, and this is another wonderful friend from TikTok. This is Fire Goddess. Fire Goddess, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are y'all?
Wonderful. And
I'm
yeah,
good.
we've got
Thank
Sydney
you.
here with his moose. Tango's here. We got the whole Curse Council just hanging out. They've been helping me pump things out in my state of disarray of podcasting 17 hours yesterday. That may or may not happen, of course. No video of it, but yeah, we podcast for 17 straight hours yesterday, so that was super fun.
That's insane.
It was unhinged, to be completely clear. But so the first question I always ask people when they come on here is, if you were to tell me who you were, and that's all you can tell me, what would you tell me? Who is Fire Goddess?
A 41-year-old trying to figure out her way through life still.
Amen.
Not quite through the midlife crisis, but
Oh,
like
man.
trying to figure out where do you want to be? Where do you want to belong?
That's a good answer.
Yeah. I identify with that answer so much.
Yeah.
So very much. Where are you from again?
Texas.
Texas. We're at in Texas.
San Antonio.
Okay, San Antonio. Sweet. Okay.
Remember the Alamo?
There you go. Shout out the Alamo. I heard right the other day, I think somebody fucking told me that the Alamo has a fucking TikTok. I was like, what?
Yeah, actually.
Like,
Because someone was dogging on it saying they needed to tribute something for Ozzy because he, peed on the Alamo way back when.
I was gonna say, him and the Alamo have like kind of a contentious relationship. I think that's kind of crazy. So
Yeah. Apparently a lot of people didn't know about that. And we're getting Pee-wee's bike.
no shit. That's dope.
Yes. I was so excited when my husband showed me. Because,
That's great.
in the movie, they're talking about in the basement, which
Yeah.
there's no basement, obviously, because there's no basements in Texas, really.
Right. Yeah. No. Everything's like hard clay down there and shit.
Yeah. So I was like, that's so cool.
That is very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. I'm excited to go check it out.
Absolutely. That's sweet. So tell me, you've been born and raised in Texas, or you moved around, or?
Born and raised, lived in Indiana for just a little bit because my dad's side of the family is up there.
Oh, okay.
So I was there for maybe like a year out of my entire life.
Right on. I say Moose. That's where Moose is from. She's in Indiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my grandma was in Salem.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Ohio, so like I know a little bit about Indiana. Yeah.
You're a hop, skip, and a jump from Indiana because we used to go to Indiana, and then my mom and I would take a day trip to Ohio to visit her side of the family.
Yep.
I'm in California, so I'm far away from all that.
Oh.
Yeah, she's
interesting to hear about.
Yeah, I think if there's another place in the U.S. that I would actually move to, it would probably be Indiana.
Really?
Just because I have so much family there, like all my sister, my nieces, my nephews, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, like they're all up there.
Well, that's awesome.
That's a good reason. Families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being close to family makes life just a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah, it does. And
you have a good relationship with your family.
I haven't been up there since we went and visited the year after my dad died, so 2016, and took all three of our kids because the oldest had gone when she was like a baby, but she didn't remember it. And then my youngest two had never gone. So we took our first family vacation and went to visit family after my dad died, which was really nice, but we haven't been back since.
Right on. Well, I mean, that's nice to be able to go up there and visit family and do that sort of thing. So what was your life growing up like? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know, like, growing up in different places, in different parts of the country, it's vastly different. And I'm sure Texas is no exception. You know what I'm saying? Like, being Texas, I'm sure there's people have all kinds of things in their minds and stereotypes about Texas, but some are right, some are wrong. But like, what was that like for you? Like in that, especially like in the 80s and 90s, going up, like, since you're like my age. Like,
yeah. So when I was a younger kid, we lived in the city. And when I was about 9, we decided my dad had gone through a long, extensive battle with heart failure and having triple bypass surgery. They waited until a little bit later in life to have me. So they were married for 12 years before I was even a thought. My dad was done. My mom, on the other hand, had other plans. And so here I am. Thanks, Mom.
Shout out, Mom.
But they wanted to kind of live a bit of more relaxed lifestyle. So we bought an acre of land and had a single wide mobile home. It was on an outlet to the lake. And I was pretty much homeschooled. I was the youngest of 5 total because both my parents had 2, a girl and a boy from their previous marriages, and then me together. And I hated it. I cried and cried because I was a city girl. All my friends and I would stay out until whatever during the summer. Like even when the lights came on, we knew because one of the neighbors would just whistle when it was time to come home. And if you heard her whistle, that's when you knew it was time to come back.
Right. Yeah,
So
everybody,
we'd
let's
stay
go.
out. Yeah. We'd stay out in the middle of the, evening after like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, even in the summer, catching fireflies and playing hide and go seek. And the neighbors would all get together and hang out front and talk. And, it was so much fun. Now we were out in the boonies where our closest neighbor was probably a mile down the road.
Right. That's
Right.
a big
So,
difference.
yeah, it
Big
was a
change.
really rude awakening. So I started school out there. I started making friends, which made it a lot easier. My dad was still going through heart problems. He had his first triple bypass surgery when I was 7,
Oh wow.
which was really, really hard to go through because I'm a big daddy's girl.
Oh,
Always a daddy's girl. He was my best friend.
Aw.
So when we were out there, I begged my mom. I was like, "Can you just take me out of school?" Because she worked in San Antonio still, which was like a 2-hour drive, and I was just terrified. We lived 10 miles outside of town. That I was going to come home from school one day and he was going to be dead on the living room floor or something
Oh,
because no
Lord.
one was home if something happened.
Right.
So she did. She pulled me out of school, which I can look back on now and regret because I never graduated. But I learned to drive at 12 so that in case of an emergency, I could get him into a hospital quicker than an ambulance could get to him.
Right.
I really started I guess friendships online because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. I was raised fairly conservative Christian. My parents were both pretty religious. Dad was raised Southern Baptist. Mom was raised Nazarene, which are 2 of the very strictest religious upbringings you could have together. So I wasn't allowed to date. I wasn't allowed to go out. I wasn't allowed to go to parties. Things like that were just not something I ever experienced as a teenager, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, maybe it's good because I turned out pretty decent. So maybe
Right.
it was
Yeah, that's true.
all in all in my favor. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And then we moved back into San Antonio. Oh gosh, in 2000, right before everything happened with like 9/11. We moved like end of 2000. Just before 2001, my parents found a house and we moved back into the city. And that's when I really started like getting out and meeting people. And I was almost 17. So I met my first husband online. Again, I chatted online a lot because I didn't have a big outlet otherwise. And yes, I have had the very stereotypical questions. Do you ride a horse to school? Like, no. We have cars and school buses like everyone else.
The school all day. That's insane.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine asking somebody that like in seriousness. Like,
Yeah, no, I used to get asked that
bananas.
all the time chatting with people online because back in the day they used to have the Excite chat rooms with like the little icons. And that's what I would do. I would go in those and that was my outlet. So I met a lot of really good friends. I still have some friends on there that I talk to today on Facebook and stuff that I've never met, but I've watched their kids grow up. They've watched my kids grow up, watched them get married, watched, all of the things, but we've never met in person.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, like to
After
try to
that.
make that journey with each other. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it is. It definitely is. But we moved into San Antonio. I met my husband. I started dating him when it was just before my 18th birthday. He was a little older. He was 6 years older. So my mom was like,
As it
but
tends to happen online sometimes.
well, and actually we started talking. It was really funny. We started talking when I was 16, but I lied and said I was 18 in an AOL profile.
Oh, man, AOL gets you every time. Son of a bitch.
But I was honest with him, and I told him, like, the first conversation we ever had, I was like, I just want you to know I really am only 16. And he was like, okay, well, we had one conversation, and then I didn't hear from him again until like a year. And then he messaged me again right before I turned 18, and we started dating. And my mom was all gung-ho for him at first because his mom was in the church. His grandpa was a deacon in the Baptist church. So she was like, oh, he's a good Christian boy. He has his car. He has a job. Like, he's a little older. This is perfect. Really, really pushing me. And I'm like, dude, this, first of all, is the first time I've ever even gone out with a guy.
Right.
Like, I don't want to settle down with the first dude I meet.
Right.
Second of all, he was 6'2". I'm 5'4". I was really tiny back then. He's this big husky dude. He literally hugged me, and it scared me so bad because he squeezed so tight.
Oh,
And I'll never forget. He like, can I kiss you? And I was like, sure. And I ran up to my mom and I was like, he stuck his tongue in my mouth.
My goodness.
You know, because I'd never dated. I'd never gone out with a guy before. And I was like, she's like, well, were you okay? And I'm like, I don't know if I liked it. I don't know if I want to see him again.
It's a little weird for me. I'm still working it out.
But he also had like a beard. And here I am, I'm 18. So I'm like, he looked, you could tell he was older. Like, he didn't look like a young guy, but he was very sweet. He shaved for me, which I felt really bad for. And obviously we ended up married and we have a daughter together.
What's that? What'd you say, Sydney?
How did he look after he shaved? Were you still into it?
He was cuter.
Let me tell you, without this, it's not great. So, not great.
Guessing game, you never know.
Right.
Luckily, he had a baby face and the most adorable dimples. It was the dimples that sold me.
That's cute.
I was like, okay. But
I see you.
but we were married for about 3 years. We lived with my parents. He lost his truck. I got pregnant. My parents were like, well, when are you going to make it official? So I was 5 weeks pregnant, but nobody knew it when we got married. And it was so funny because everybody kept coming up to my mom at my wedding and was like, are you sure she's not pregnant? Her boobs are huge. Ooh. And I'm like, dude, I have big boobs. Like, I was a double D, like, naturally. Like, yeah. So I was like, that's stupid. And I wasn't showing her anything. So it was like stupid.
Yeah.
But I played it off. I was like, took a pregnancy test like a month later and like, oh my God, I'm pregnant.
My boobs do look bigger. That's crazy. It's the weirdest thing.
I was like, I just didn't want my parents to freak out on me. And I didn't want anyone to think like that's why we were getting married, because we were already planning our wedding and everything was already in the motion. Like, we had already been engaged. We already set the date. Like, it wasn't like we were pushing anything because we got pregnant, and I didn't want people to think that. So I just kept it between ourselves.
That makes sense.
It's nobody's business but your own.
Right. Exactly. Right. So we lived with my parents the entire time, which was miserable.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And quickly led to our divorce.
Wow. So, I mean, how long were you married?
Total 5 years. We were together about 3. We got separated. We were separated for about 10 months. He actually moved in with another girl and her son and was helping raise him, and that didn't work out. And then he came back and I was like, are you, let's try to make this work. Let's date and see where what happens. And I was like, okay, I mean, we have a kid. I didn't get married with the intention of divorcing. I mean, I got married at 18, almost 19. Right. That wasn't the intention, was to get married to get divorced and be a single mom at 20,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we tried it, didn't work, got back together for about a year. And then shortly after that, I met my husband that I'm married to now. We've been together for 17 years in December we've been married.
Well, Godspeed. Jesus, that's great.
Yeah.
You're doing better than me, I can tell you that. Well, that's cool. So what did you so after you were divorced over, like, were you working? Did you go to college? Like, what, I mean,
Well, like I mentioned, I didn't graduate. So when we separated the first time, I was going back to school. I was trying to get my GED so that I could better my life somewhere. Um, I wasn't able to succeed in that because being a single mom, I had to work also. And that kind of took precedence with having to feed and clothe my kiddo. So education kind of fell to the wayside, unfortunately. But I focused on her. She went to early childhood development classes while I was taking classes and I was working part-time. I'm very thankful that I was able to live with my parents and they were able to help me the way that they were, because I probably wouldn't have been able to do what I was doing without them.
right.
Without parents.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I got married to my husband now, we got married in 6 months. Not even. We met in December of 2007. We got married in December of 2008. And then the very next month after our wedding, we moved out into our own place. So I was very thankful for that. Like, he got me out of a very toxic situation because my mom was very controlling, very narcissistic, very, very toxic. We fought all the time.
Yeah. So was that like, how did the religious upbringing stuff, did that affect you? Did you go into that part of thing? Was that part of the toxicity, or like, how did that work in your
I
guys'
wouldn't,
relationship?
yeah, I wouldn't say it was part of the toxicity, but like we would go, like I was in choir in church and we had Bible study that we would go to, and we would go Sunday nights, Sunday morning, Wednesday night. I told my mom I wasn't going back on Wednesdays when I was must have been about 8 or 9. We went one night and they just started speaking in tongues and people were like falling on the floor and it freaked the crap out of me. And I was like, I'm not doing Wednesdays again.
Yeah, no,
Like, I'm not doing it. So
like, Wednesdays get crazy. We're not doing that no more. Holy hell.
yeah, that scared me. But I still like, I'm weird. I told my husband, I was like, can I be a Christian witch? Like, because my mom, okay, this sounds stupid, but as religious as she was, she would go get her palm read.
Okay.
She would go, she read her horoscope every week and like was big into astrology and all of that stuff.
Tango down here in the chat said that definitely 100% she's a Christian witch, so it can be done.
Okay, cool. So I'm not the only one, because I still carry like a lot of those beliefs and I still pray and I still, like, even with like, I'm weird and like when I make a wish or something, I say amen at the end.
Yeah.
Just because
doing
it's
it.
always been a part of me. Like, I remember going to my mom when I was 12 years old and was like, hey, I know at 12 I'm responsible for my sins. I want to be baptized. And I got baptized in a swimming pool because my mom, the church we went to, she worked at a dude ranch out in Bandera. And that was the way they would baptize them, is in the swimming pool. So we all three, my mom, my dad, and myself, got baptized together.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool though, like, that you kind of held on to that sort of thing and kind of made it. There's usually like twofold, like, where, you know, people either rebel or they kind of like fall into it, and like, you seem like you kind of made it your own, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where I was going with that. Like, now that you have that sort of thing, and you're away from your mom, like, did that relationship get better once you moved out?
Yes and no. Like, it wasn't in my face 24/7, but it was always there, like looming in the background. She would hold everything over my head. Like, her and my sister were always bumping heads, and I would always get brought into it because my sister was very jealous of me because I was my mom's youngest, because I was my dad's, and the only one she had with my dad. She always said it was because my dad was so special to her to have an offspring of his is why she loved me so much. But my sister and my brother, my mom didn't really raise. They lived with her mother most of their upbringing. And I never was away from my parents. So I think there was some animosity there, but it was taken out on me for some reason, which like I remember my mom telling me that when she brought me home from the hospital, my sister threatened to like take me and throw me into the wall to kill me.
Oh my goodness.
And we never really had a close relationship. And it really hurt me growing up because all I ever wanted was a sister. And because we were so far apart in age, she was like 15. No, she was 17 when I was born. Both of my brothers were 15, and my oldest sister was 20. So there was a huge age gap.
Yeah, that is a huge gap.
Yeah, that's rough. Like me and my sister were like 7 years apart, and it was rough. You know what I'm saying? Like we were not nearly as close until we got like into our late teens and 20s, where we were like, you know, we could hang out like reasonably and not just be like, you know. So like, it's I don't know. I get it. Like I couldn't imagine in 15 years, like just like hanging out with one of your uncles and you know what I'm saying, like type of thing. You know? So
well, and with her, it wasn't even like even as I got older, and it was crazy because she had a daughter that was only 4.5 years younger than me. So we really grew up more like sisters than niece and aunt. And we were always really, really close. But my sister just never, it wasn't really until my mom died that we actually kind of started recently having a bit of a relationship. And my mom's been gone almost 8 years.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, it sucks that like it came at the end, but I mean, at least you got to experience some of that before, you know, she went and whatever. And like, so now what does it look like? Like just you're being with your husband now, like, or from then, like when you moved out and stuff, whatever, going forward, like what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know like you ended up with 2 kids, right? And
well, I have both of my daughters biologically, and then my husband had a son from his first marriage. That's my baby. Because he was 2 when we met, and he doesn't even remember like his mom and dad together. He just knows him and I.
Right.
And everybody's always like, "You never had a son?" I'm like, "Yes, I did. Shut up." I got my boy, and him and I are super close. But when we moved out, my husband's very cool in that he gave me the confidence and the backbone to kind of step up to my mom and tell her no, and like set some boundaries, because I would just kind of do whatever my mom would say because I just tried to keep the peace. Like I'm a peacemaker. I'm a people pleaser. I don't want argumenting, and like I need things to stay calm and chill. And so if it means putting myself out and being miserable to make someone else happy and quiet, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely. I get it. Like
I'm a people pleaser too. I hear you.
Yeah, it's hard. It took a lot of therapy within the last like 10 years, realizing, looking back, like, oh shit, my mom really fucked me up.
Right. Like that whole process, I'm sure, took a toll on you.
Yeah. Because what I thought was love was my mom trying to control. I'm sure she loved me in her way. Like,
yeah.
I don't doubt that she didn't love me, but I do know that she had a lot of ulterior motives in the things that she would say and do to get what she wanted. And that is not how a mother should be.
No, and it seems like you at least took the steps to kind of like deal with that internally, and then not pass that along in retrospect to your children.
Yeah. I've
Which
definitely tried to break cycles. It's not easy, and I can't say I'm perfect. And I even told my daughter the other day, I was like, especially with my oldest, I feel the worst because you're learning as you go. Like your first kid, like you don't know what you're doing. They don't come with a handbook. So I know I'm not perfect.
They do not. Like I just told someone the other day, I'm like, listen, I know it seems like your kids like are in charge, or like you like are scared, like, oh my god, I'm not gonna know what to do. But like, dude, like they're fucking nobody knows what to do. Every parent is winging it. Like none of us knew what to do going into it. And like, I mean, that's why it's like it's okay to like fucking not be like, I mean, don't be a horrible parent, but like it's okay to be like, oh god, I feel like a horrible parent because like I screwed up. But like, dude, every parent screws up. Like, and that's also like the thing a lot of people don't tell people. They they just see like, I always saw my parents just being good at everything they did and like having the right advice at the right time. And it was just like, damn, dude, I don't know if I can do that as a parent. Like I'm good, but I'm not that good. Shit. Like that sort of thing. But like, and my parents told me after that, like, dude, we fucked up all the time. Like you just kids don't see
Didn't
that
see it.
because they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know anything. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think for me, a big step was just letting her know, like, hey, I'm sorry. And it's okay to tell your kid you're sorry.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah, I think admitting that fucking you're wrong to your kids, like you know what I'm saying? Like I think kind of makes it I don't know, like it kind of eases the power dynamic of like this is an authoritarian, like, you know, whatever, like I have to, you know, it brings you guys closer, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of humanizes the relationship of like this isn't somebody I just have to like this is, you know, my keeper. This is like somebody that I can be close to and cares about me and loves me.
Yes.
So
And I'm big on that. Like, I'll admit when I'm wrong and I'll admit my faults.
right. Well, and that's good. That's a good self-aware to be self-aware like that, and to teach your children that in that way is a really good thing to pass along and stuff.
I'm
So
trying.
I mean, obviously it's worked. I mean, you and your husband, we got years. I have 3 ex-wives, so I'm telling you, it's this marriage. It's not even, like I'm telling you. So
I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Could you put my thingy on mute, and then when I come back, you can put it back.
yep,
Sorry,
absolutely,
I'll be right back.
you're good. But yeah, so I mean, you guys have been together this whole time and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, how do the boys come into, or the two kids, right, come into your life then?
Well, we were about 3 weeks out from our oldest daughter's sweet 16 and kind of had an idea. Like, you kind of know the signs. And I had the conversation with her, like, hey, do you think it's time we start birth control? And she was like, yeah, maybe. She'd had a girlfriend for 2 years.
Right.
And her father was very against her dating a girl because it was wrong. And my thought process was she can't get pregnant.
Well, like this is a win for us guys.
So I was like, I knew her, it was a safe space for her because at that age, there's so much pressure. And
Right.
I knew that it was safe for her because there was no pressure there. There was no pressure for sexual, you know, anything because they were both girls on the same page at the same age, you know, learning and experiencing things together. And neither one of them were ready for that. But as soon as they broke up, here comes this dude, and dudes have different
Well,
mindsets at that age.
16-year-old boys are trouble, I'm telling you.
So about 6 months into dating, along comes the pregnancy. And her dad, the funny thing was, is her dad was completely fine with her being pregnant at 16 because she wasn't gay.
Oh my
It was
god.
the most bizarre shit. I was
Shout
like,
out
are you
Texas. Jesus.
fucking kidding me? Like,
Yeah, that's the most
you're,
ass backwards thing ever.
it really, really was. I was just beside myself with that one. But regardless, I told her we were going to support her in whatever her decision was. Because at the end of the day, every baby's a blessing, in my opinion. You know, no matter what she decided though, we had her back.
Right.
And of course, looking back, I think she has some regrets, but she ended up going through with her pregnancy and they were together. Everything stayed calm. There was a few arguments, especially between him and my husband, because there was a lot of disrespect on his end. So there was a period of time where he was not allowed in our house. And
Oh, wow.
so there was about 4 months where we moved right during COVID. And this is all during COVID that this had happened.
Oh
She found
god.
out she was pregnant at the end of 2019. Her birthday's in October.
Oh lord.
So mid pregnancy, COVID hits. We're trying to move. We were living in a 2-bedroom apartment, her and her little sister sharing a bedroom. So we're
Oh
like,
man.
okay, we bought our house. Thank God we were able to buy our house. We moved in on April the 1st and he was due June 1st. So we're like, we got plenty of time to settle in, whatever. She was 6 weeks early when she came to me. She's like, Mom, I'm hurting really bad. I just can't stop these cramps. I called her OB. They were like, put her in a bath. It's probably Braxton Hicks at this point because she's so early. She was only like 36 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, she wasn't even quite 36 weeks. She was like 35 and a half weeks. I
Oh
was like,
man.
okay. So I put her in a bath and she gets out and she's like, Mom, I can't move. There's so much pressure. And she was super nauseous. And I was like, no, you're in labor. We're going to the hospital. So I called my husband because he's a trucker overnight and he drives from
Oh.
San Antonio to Dallas. And I was like, babe, I'm heading to the hospital with Mad. You got to get home as soon as possible because the other two were at home and I
Right.
just had to leave them. I called the neighbor and I was like, can you keep an eye on the house? I headed to the hospital. He got home about 5 minutes after I left, thankfully. And we get there and they check her and they're like, oh, she's 8 centimeters dilated.
Oh man.
I'm like, holy shit. Okay, there's no stopping this. This baby's coming. So he was born April 23rd and 6 weeks early. Most beautiful little guy in the world.
Oh.
Of course. He went straight to the NICU because he was so early.
Yeah.
And he was there for about 2.5 weeks, which was really hard because COVID, nobody could go see him except for mom and dad. So I took her up there like every day. She would pump and take breast milk and drop it off at the NICU for him and spend a couple hours with him. And I'd stay in the car.
Mm.
So that was tough. But then he came home and we got to get all the baby lovins and snuggles.
That's good.
And she did it on her own. She really did. There was one night I'll never forget. I woke up at like, must have been about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just heard him screaming. And I just tapped on her door and I kind of peeked in and she's like, help. And she just looked like a deer caught in a headlight.
Oh man.
She's like, help. And I'm like, what's wrong? He had a blowout.
Oh yeah, man. That's rough.
And so she was trying so hard to clean him up. So I helped her. And, you know, it's surreal being able to be a grandparent that literally helps raise them from that perspective. Because most grandparents, they don't live in the same house. They're, you know, they don't get to help with the first bath and helping her with the first feedings and all of those little things. So it was really special to be able to experience that with her.
Mm.
And she gets mad at me sometimes because she's like, well, I don't know why you're so close to them and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I love them and I'm the way I am with them because I love you so much.
Right.
Like, it's like watching you all over again. But about 6 months in, she begged and begged, please let him move in. I need help, blah, blah, blah. We broke down. We let him move in. We celebrated Zyler's first birthday. That's my oldest grandbaby. And I just knew. I was like, are you pregnant? And she was like, no, no, no. I just had my cycle. I'm like, okay. A week later, she came to me. I took a test. I'm pregnant.
Oh man.
Because mamas know. And I'm like, I freaking told you so. So here comes baby boy number 2. He was born in January of 2022. And oh my God, gorgeous little guy. Full head of black hair.
Good for him.
Chunky little monkey.
I got one too. I'm kind of the same thing. I get it. I resemble this kid.
He was just the cutest little thing.
Yeah.
And luckily for, you know, that one went full term. So he was healthy. He was good. They came home a few days after he was born. Big brother was just the most excited to have a little brother and just couldn't wait to hold him and just wanted to be a part of every little piece of, you know, his little brother, which was adorable to watch.
Absolutely.
And then they broke up about 3 or 4 months after he was born. And I kicked him out of the house because I just couldn't deal with the drama.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just been a roller coaster. Now she's going through a divorce and has a little girl also. So 3 kids at 21. It's a lot.
That is, man.
It's a lot. Now I help a lot with the boys. She's living here right now, but when she does get on her feet and is able to move out, I'm going to keep the boys for a while so that she can fully get on her feet and fully be the mommy that they need her to be, because she just hasn't really ever had a chance to really focus on who she needs to be.
Right. Well, and it's hard at that age with that many. I mean, with that many kids, like you really got the odds stacked against you. And I mean, thank God she has a mother like you, and you guys in general, like both of you, like it's kind of like I'm sure a blessing for her and for those kids. So,
oh yeah,
very amazing. And yeah,
Thank
Tango
you.
said during the last when you're talking about the first kid, she said bless him, like because like it's crazy that she was dilated 8 centimeters. Like my second kid, she was dilated 8 centimeters for 6 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like, and they just didn't induce her. And like, I had a knee surgery scheduled, and we just kept having to move it. And finally, I was like, listen, something's got to break. Either you're having a baby or I'm having a knee surgery. Either way, something's got to happen because like
Yeah.
we've been moving shit for like over a month, and so like yeah, she was
Wow.
like she ended up being late, and it was crazy. So
Well, she's lucky. She's like me. She literally was able to have him. I think we got there at like 6:30 in the morning. He was born at 10:56 in the morning.
we listen, we got there at like 8 for hers when they induced her, and my dad called me at like 9:30 and was like, "How's everything going?" I'm like, "I've been holding my daughter for 45 minutes, dude." He was like, "What?"
Yeah, it
I
goes
said, "Yeah."
fast once they get started.
I said, "When
And
we
with
walked
this,
in, it was done."
yeah, when with the second one, she was induced, so it did take a little longer. I dropped them off at the hospital at like 5 in the morning,
Mhm.
but still, she had him by like 11, I think, because I remember her texting me, or she texted me. She was like, "Hey, it's go time." Starting to push, and then like 15 minutes later they were video calling me and I was seeing him. I was like, girl.
I mean, she was induced too. Like we went at 8 in the morning, and they induced her. They like started pitocin at like 8:15 or something, and literally it was like
Yeah.
9:15. They were like, "Baby's here." It's like, holy shit, dude! That was
Yeah, it goes quick.
the
But
first
I was
time.
the same way with her and her, well, not so much her sister, but that's another story. But her, I was that way. I went in, my water broke with her, and it was funny because I was 19, first kid. I went to my mom, I was like, I can't stop peeing. And my mom goes, did you ever think maybe your water broke? And I'm like, oh shit, you know what? It is my due date. Like today is my due date. So she's 1 in a million. I had her on her actual due date, which happened to be her grandfather's 50th birthday
Amazing.
on her dad's side. So I was like, happy birthday. Anyone try to top it?
I was born
This
on my due
grandkid.
date too.
See, 1 in a millions, man.
Well, and it was President's Day. That was double.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, so you have all this stuff going on. So now, like, you're just taking care of the kids and stuff, whatever. Like, you do lives on TikTok, right?
I do. I just
Yeah.
started. You know what? I figure everybody else is doing it. Why the hell not?
Man, I don't know, man. Like, I have not. I feel like I'm old now because, like, I know tech stuff and everything, but like, I cannot get people to come to do anything over there. I don't know if I'm just not that interesting anymore or what. It's tough though.
It's honestly just being consistent. Like I noticed when I went the first couple of times, no one really came in. Then I started watching other people and kind of picking up tips and tricks. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do that. Okay. Throw a little bit more in there like this, spice it up a little bit here. Okay. Then I started going every night. The first couple of nights, 3 or 4 people, a couple people would come and stay for a decent enough ish time to kind of conversate to keep the flow going.
right.
And then by the third night, I was like, oh, there's like 10 or 12 people in here. And we're like really conversating. Like people are actually engaging and people are, and I kind of want it to be that like a grow room to like engage with others, to promote, like go follow each other, go show some love on each other, because you need a community. If you don't have the community in there, you have nothing.
Right. Right.
But I also invest a lot of time in going into other people's lives and pages and loving on them and, gifting them where I can, because everything I have made so far, I've just put back into getting coins to share with everyone else.
Right. Right. That's what I've been told, like, so you got to kind of do that at the beginning, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so different because like I did all of last year just on another podcast that was monetized on YouTube, and that's how like I learned how to run a YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, I can do this. Like I can do this on my own. It's fine. But like that also had a built-in audience because it was Ohio State football, and so it was just like literally like that's just inherently like people will show up regardless because we are psychopaths and we love Ohio State football. So like we will show up like, and so like over here to talk about like anything and everything, it's like it's a little bit tougher where it's like, oh man, like trying to get people to come in and just that's why I've just been trying to talk to people and do that, and like so trying to
Yeah.
stick with YouTube and like figure out how to go on over there, and like that's where I met Sydney. That's where I met everybody really. But like literally like that's what happened, and like we just kind of like worked together now, and like kind of got to the point where like I'm trying to do all the be able to go live on Instagram there, and like it's a lot of work though. It's
Yeah.
and you get people to show up. It's like, man, because it seems like people come in and out of lives over there like it's nonstop.
Oh, they do. They
It's
do.
crazy. I'm like, dude, somebody stay for 5 fucking minutes. It's crazy.
I've been lucky to build a fairly decent community of mamas. So that has helped, I think.
Yeah.
And they're just really engaging. Like they'll pop in, even if they don't stay for the entire time, like they'll pop in, share the live out, give some gifts to kind of boost it, tap on the screen to get you the likes that you need. I've heard that I got with an agency, so that has helped too. But I hear the first 10 minutes, if you don't get 10,000K, like if you don't get that likes, that's what pushes you out the quickest to the FYP. You
Okay.
want 10,000 likes in the first 10 minutes of being live.
That seems ridiculous to me. Like,
Yeah, it is hard. I'm really lucky. Like, usually I'll share it and I'll get like a decent enough people in, but I don't think I've ever gotten that many likes that quickly.
yeah, no, this seems like an exorbitant amount very quickly. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy. So I mean, like now you said that you like to read and stuff, or whatever. And like we just like your podcast or not your podcast, your fucking lives over there. I was just like, you know, um, everybody's got kind of like a niche, like, and I know people approach me about the agency thing, and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't really know if there's a niche for me, like, because I'm like me.
Hmm.
But like, they're like, no, I swear to God, I'm like, all right, fucking, we'll see. But
Well,
like,
now there's a new trend going that I just like made a video on today, like the no niche trend. Like all these people talking about, I don't have a niche. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll
I
snag
mean, I
you
have
up.
a million niches,
Snag
but I
me
just
up. I don't, because I'm all over the place. Like if you go to my page, I'm into like Halloween and spooky stuff. So I've kind of focused a little bit more on that. And that's kind of where my page is a little bit more driven. But I post the kids and I post just me talking, like life's what's going on in my life, like just little things, here and there. Cause
right.
I just say post the content and everything is content. So post it. So I'm just trying to roll with it and see where it takes me.
Yeah, and that's what I figured out. Like, that's the only thing I told people. Like, it's you just have to be consistent at it.
Hmm.
Like, and that's the whole thing. I'm like, but like, as soon as you miss that for you, as soon as you're not consistent for like 2 days, like people forget all about you and it gets weird.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, and
man.
like I was gonna go live. When did I go live last Thursday? No, I went live last Wednesday. That live was actually really, really, really good. And I was really sad that I wasn't able to go the rest of this week because I got sick. So I didn't go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or today, but I'm hopping back on tomorrow and hopefully I've been posting those still. So I've been
Right.
staying active and like posting content, even if it was just a draft from whatever,
Stuff
because
laying around.
I was feeling good and I was running such a high fever Thursday. I was just like, I don't think I have it in me to do anything.
Yeah, so a bunch of people were sick. Like, I literally I think I had 3 podcasts scheduled for that day, and all 3 of you guys were sick that day.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, it's like, wow,
Dude, it's going around.
yeah.
And
What
it
I
hit
hate,
me so quick and so fast. Like when I had texted you that I was at the doctor's, by the time I left there, I was burning up with 103 fever.
right?
I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
So I
that's
didn't
crazy.
leave my bed for 2 days.
Yeah, it's not I didn't hear from her. Like, oh man, I'm all right. So,
Yeah, I was just, I literally, my husband works nights, like I said, and so he sleeps
mm,
during the day. And I stayed in bed with him all day yesterday and the day before. He was like, baby, you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. He's like, I can tell because I don't usually do that. I was like, I just needed to rest.
yeah, sometimes you just have to rest it out. So, well, I mean, that's good now. So, like, you said you like to read and stuff or whatever. Like, I hate to ask the dreaded question. Like, what do you like to read?
I read mostly thrillers, true crime.
Okay.
Um, I have a McFadden book that I haven't gotten to start yet. I don't really know her books because I've never read one of them before, but I've had a lot of people recommend her books to me. So I've got The Tenant that I need to start reading.
Hmm.
I read the Butcher and Blackbird series,
Hmm.
and that was really good. It's literally about 2 serial killers that kill other serial killers,
Yeah,
and they
I've
end
heard
up
tell of it.
meeting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually a really good series.
Mm.
I really enjoy. I need to read the 3rd book because there's the 3rd book, and I haven't gotten a chance to read the 3rd one yet. But
It just, I hate like I don't hate, but I was just like, oh, I'm about to ask you about your books, and like, please don't tell me you just read smut. And like, no,
Oh
I do
no.
read smut. And I'm like, oh shit. Like every time, it's a very common response from like, what do you read these days?
No. Well, like VC Andrews was always my favorite author growing up. Like I would read 2 or 3 books a day. My dad used to be like, "Why don't you get out of the room and go outside?" And I'm like, "Cause I'm reading and I need to finish it." Cause I was always super imaginative. Like I could picture the things out playing in my head as I'm reading the story. And
Right? Yeah,
so
yeah.
you get drawn in and you can't stop. You got to finish it. You got to see what happens. Or like
Right.
R.L. Stein and Goosebumps when I was even younger. So like I've just always loved to read. Um, but then I wanted the Flowers in the Attic because my sister was a big VC Andrews fan also. I had never read those. I read a lot of her newer stuff back in like the late 90s, early 2000s series.
Right.
So my husband found me like original from the Flowers in the Attic series, and I
Oh, that's really
still
cool.
haven't read all of them, but I need to. And like Twilight, of course. But I was late to that one. So
Yeah,
I saw the first movie before I even read the books.
I was dragged to all of those movies with my
Uh,
ex-wife, and
I drug my husband too. And then when it came out on Blu-ray, I had to have the
yeah, I got dragged to all that stuff. The 50 Shades of Grey thing, I got dragged to all those movies. So like, I'm like, oh my
You
god.
see, I read the first 2 books of that and part of the third one. And I dabble in things. So I'm just like, that's not accurate.
Listen, that's the one. That's one of the things that I have a problem with when I saw those movies. So I'm like, hey man, like the shit they just did, they're not about to go. Like they just went out and had mimosas afterwards and shit. I'm like, listen, man,
Uh-uh.
no, they're gonna lay down and they're gonna watch shitty romance movies and they're gonna like eat fucking chips and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, that's not how that goes. And they
No.
were like, really? And I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to be like a fucking weirdo, but like, let me tell you, what they did was pretty intense, and it's not like that. Like fucking
There needs to be aftercare and
right.
intense aftercare.
I mean, they're not just running around the city going shopping and shit. Like that's not
No.
happening, man.
Well, and my husband had a hard time with it because we went and saw the first one in theaters and he was like, oh God, what did we just watch? He was like, she didn't even consent to it. She said no several times.
Yeah, there's a
He
lot of
didn't sign the
problems with a lot of
contract.
those movies. A lot of problems with those movies. So like,
I was like, oh, you're right now that you mention it.
yeah, there's a lot of problems with those movies. It's like, oh man, this is we're not gonna break this down, but like, oh fucking, if we did, like, it's not a great look for those movies or those books, but like, people are,
No,
man,
not at all.
and but I used to do a whole thing where like people would just send me the covers of smut books and like just the titles and shit. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to know it. I don't even. Those are English words. I get that, but like, I don't know what that sentence means. Like, what the hell? Like, that isn't even stuff about. I
I
don't.
can't say none of the books I read have like spicy scenes, but it's
Some of them get
spread out
out of
throughout the
control.
book. Yeah, it's not like the entire book is like that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
like.
think I could do that.
I tell people like, oh man, I don't know. Like, I just want to go back in time. Like, listen, 50 Shades of Grey, don't do it. Just don't do it. Please don't do it. Like, it's gonna go so left of center. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen some shit from the future. You don't want to see it. It's crazy.
Well, and the
But
actress that plays her, like, I can't think of her name, the one that did stupid spider. She's not a very good actress.
I do remember that. Yeah, no, she's not a great actress either. I don't remember her name either.
I can't think of her name right now. But she's a Nepo baby. And I really think that's the only reason she got into what she's into. Ooh.
Hi. Sorry. Hi. How you doing, Bunny? Bunny's also one of my co-hosts. We're in the middle of a podcast. I dropped my mouse and fucking uh back out of the room, but I'm here again. So yeah, what were we talking about?
Oh.
Enjoy.
Okay. Hi, Bunny.